This is my favorite Christmas potato recipe to share with you. So I don't know about you, but I really am excited about the holidays and Christmas and like everything coming up. And if you're anything like me and you're probably going to do all the cooking, or maybe you just want to bring a side dish that's really, really good to like a Christmas party or a potluck or get together, this is my scallop potato recipe that I have personally developed and come up with by trial and error, looking at lots and lots of scallop potato recipes over the years. And I want to share it with you because it's freaking awesome. Also, I have made this and multiple other potato dishes for like my mom's club group get togethers and other potlucks and stuff. And every single time, it's always a hit and everybody wants the recipe. So this is for you. So to start off, ingredients wise, get yourself a 5-pound bag of like russet potatoes, just like a good baking potato, not anything too hard, like not the reds, not the yellows, just like a good solid like Iowa russet potato. Because you want them not to be mushy, but you really want them to be soft, whereas the reds tend to like have more starch and kind of stay a bit harder. So get a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes, get at least a 16-ounce jar or can of heavy whipping cream. You can use double cream, you can use half and half. I like heavy whipping cream. You might even splurge for like the 32-ounce, but you definitely won't use all of it. Next, you're going to need a block of some really good Gruyere cheese, like at least 6 ounces, maybe 8 or 10, but a really good solid Gruyere cheese, preferably from Switzerland if you can get it. The one I use is from Walmart. It's from Switzerland. It's amazing. It's delicious. It's nutty, salty, chewy. So good. Next, you want to get a bag of grated cheddar cheese. You can buy the block and grate it yourself. I don't personally care. And I like sharp cheddar. Don't go for the mild stuff, like get the good stuff. And you want at least 16 ounces, maybe even a little bit more. You're going to need at least 2 to 3 yellow onions or sweet onions, a little bit of nutmeg, which you can then grate on if you're into like the fresh nutmeg movement, or I just use the one out of the can. 2 sticks of butter, some freshly grated garlic if you're like me and you put 3 spoonfuls of garlic into every recipe, and a little bit of parsley or like an herb for some color. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to get a big baking dish, like one of those 11 by whatevers. Get a nice big, big, big baking dish, and we're going to layer. So first, I want you to cook the onions. So chop up the onions however you like. You can dice julienne. I just like to chop them up really finely. Get your 2 sticks of butter, maybe even a little bit of oil because the oil has a higher burning temperature. A little bit of oil, 2 sticks of butter, and sweat down and like cook down your onions. You don't want them to be caramelized, but they need to be translucent and very fragrant and cooked all the way through and yummy. But you don't want them to have like a lot of color. You know what I mean? You want that like translucent kind of white oniony look to them. And then if you want the garlic, some people don't want garlic in their scallop potatoes. I love it. So throw in some garlic kind of about 5 or so minutes before the onions are done cooking. Don't throw the garlic in early because onions take a long time to like sweat down and really cook out well. And if you throw the garlic in, it's just going to burn. You probably want your saucepan on like medium-ish. And this is going to be a 20 to 30 minute process, if not longer, just cooking down the onions. So once your onions are good, your cheese is all grated, get out your salt and pepper. And here's what we're going to do with our baking dish. You can line the baking dish. I don't spray mine down because we have so much like butter and other stuff that's going into this that you don't really need it. But what you're going to do is start out with a layer of your heavy cream. You just want enough heavy cream to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. And then you're going to do a layer of potatoes. They don't have to be exactly perfect layer. You can just kind of dump in a layer. Once you dump that in, get your salt and pepper to taste, over your potatoes. And then you're going to layer on some of your onion mixture or your onion and garlic mixture. Layer on a little bit of that Gruyere cheese. You can even layer in some of the cheddar if you want to mix in the cheddar. I usually leave most of it for just the top, but you can mix some of it in. That's totally cool and makes it really good and salty. And then a tiny dusting of nutmeg. And your potatoes, by the way, are raw at this point. The only thing that's cooked is your onion and garlic. And then you repeat the process. So on top of all of that, layer on another bunch of the heavy cream to kind of coat everything. Layer on some potatoes, get your garlic and onions, do the salt and pepper, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of cheese, and then layer until it's done. If you're like me and Christmas time came and you did too many layers, I had to put a big cookie sheet underneath my pan because it kept spilling over and our oven was just disgusting. But that's okay because it turned out, oh man, this dish is so good. I ate potatoes for days after this. So then once you have all of your layers and everything's done, then wrap or top your baking dish with aluminum foil. And you're going to bake that at 375 for an hour. You have 5 pounds of potatoes here that all have to cook. They're all raw. You got a lot of baking time to go. So it's going to be a solid hour, maybe even an hour and 10, depending on how hot your oven gets. Then once that's done and your potatoes are fork tender or relatively close, take it out, unwrap it, pour on your cheddar cheese top layer, pour on some of the parsley for color, or you could even wait for the parsley till the end of it. That's fine. Put it back in the oven for another 20-ish minutes to finish cooking, melt the cheese, get everything nice and ooey gooey. It is literally the greatest potato dish you will ever have. It's amazing. I wish you the happiest of holidays. I hope you had an amazing 2023. I'm excited to see you and be a part of your journey in the new year. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon.